So I'm finally back with blue-white control. I know some of you have been waiting for this, and I'm continuing the test with a few cards. I mentioned that I hated Doorkeeper Thrall, and some people keep bringing it up, so I figured, you know what, screw it. I'll just play 2, test it out, and maybe it'll convince me. Maybe it'll convince me through my reasoning of why I don't want to play it. If you want to hear my reasoning, go check out my why I choose my sideboard cards video. And so far, didn't seem that good. The main argument for Thrall is that it's specifically for turn 2 against Boros. Now, it is also really good against Boros later down the line, but specifically on turn 2, it can be absolutely backbreaking for them. And I didn't draw it, so unfortunately I was not able to test that theory, but I'm almost positive that that's correct, that on turn 2 it's going to be the best possible spell, and then it's still going to be really good later down the line. And the main argument against it is just that these 2 sideboard slots could be used to play a spell that is just probably like way worse against Boros, but is also good against other matchups, which means it opens up the variety, the flexibility of my answers in the sideboard, where this is only going to be good against Ramp and Boros, and that's it. So that's the main limiting factor to playing a card like Thrall, because I feel like I still need spell slots for the variety of other matchups you can face on ladder, and there are a lot of things you can face on ladder, from combo decks, aggro, ramp, mid-range, control, mirrors. There's a lot of stuff that I want. Another thing I'm testing in tandem with that is going to be the Chrome Host Sea Shark, which is something that I think is actually really good and that I forgot to consider, just because you don't see the shark that often. I kind of forgot it existed. But I do think this card is really good at surprising opponents game 2. So your goal would be to potentially win game 1, sideboard this in game 2 when they have less removal, and then win the game through slamming the shark and just having it, remain unanswered while you're casting spells and gaining a lot of creature board presence stuff. But in practice, it seems to be a little bit clunky because, one, it's going against your game plan of trying to play an instant speed game with your opponent, because you have to tap 3 mana sorcery speed to play this, and that's a little bit rough sometimes. 2, most answers in standard are actually still played post board. I'm talking about mostly white cards, like Get Lost. For Ramp, it's going to be Binding. A lot of spells have too much application now, and it means that people are holding on to them post board, because they can hit, the enchantments, they can hit planeswalkers, and they're also going to hit the shark. So you might find yourself in a situation where you tap 3 mana, you play this, it gets answered immediately, and suddenly you're in a pretty bad spot. And that's the risk with this card. And in practice, it worked. I played it against Ramp. It did work decently. I had 3 originally. I don't think 3 is correct. I think it's too much to dedicate to a creature in the sideboard. But it was effective enough that I think it's probably worth exploring a little bit more and, see where this card will take me in the future, because it's looking all right. Is it the best card I could play in the slot? Maybe, because we do want an alternate win con. I think this is the best thing you can do. You can do Hullbreaker as well. You can do Fairy Mastermind as a flash card. I think flash cards have higher value, obviously, but nothing does it quite like the Chrome Host Sea Shark when you need an all-in-one encompassing win con. Other than that, I tried to cut a Jace. I realized I was wrong against Ramp, but that's about it. So enjoy the games. Check out my second channel if you want to watch roguelike deck builders and general action roguelikes. Link in the description. I mean, okay, it's Boros, so it's not horrible, but I need a untap land. I can't keep that. I need untap land. I'm just gonna fall too far behind. Okay, I lose the game. Alright, well. Whatever. Actually, I don't necessarily lose. If they had the knight, I'd lose there, but... Okay, now if they have the enchantment or the haste creature, I lose, but... We'll see. Okay, none of it. Okay. You can't have everything all the time, so... It might work out. That's why you never, ever cut a lockdown in your main deck. Never. It's 4, or you might as well just not play it. I think the metagame is a little bit too high variance for you to not play 4 lockdown. Yep. Is that worth playing 4 lockdown for? Absolutely. Whoa. Did they concede? Oh, it bugged my game. They left. They left. Okay, this is scary. I feel like it's morning all day. Yeah, that's a streamer experience. It's either morning all day or night or night all day, or good evening. You know, time zone stuff is crazy. If I knew I was drawing that, I would not have countered that, but that's the risk of keeping a 2-lander, is not being able to like play around stuff as easily. Play around your own cards, I mean. Okay. I could destroy that, but then it gives them the map tokens, and then like I don't know, I could destroy that, then lockdown, but then I'm in a weird spot. It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of weird. Yeah, people have like no patience. Like, come on. I'm not playing a deck that just requires no brain cells. I mean, it kind of does most of the time, but counter magic is nuanced. That might make some people angry, but that is an actual decision, like whether I counter that or destroy that. I guess in a way it's way better to counter that now that they drew the cavern, so there's also that consideration. It wasn't necessarily my main consideration though. Not at all. Okay, sure. I'm just destroying that, I guess. Probably. It's a pretty good spot. Get rid of all the fluff. They do get a scry. That is pretty annoying. Not a huge deal. I actually don't know if keeping the deluge is correct, but I think it is, because if I draw a land the next turn, it's... Actually, I don't know. Is it correct? Because I can put it in the graveyard, that's also fine. But then if I draw a land, that turn it's fine. But what if I draw a dud the next turn again? I would be on 6 without any plays. That's the awkward part, right? Okay. I don't know. It might have been correct to put this on the bottom just because it's higher chance at hitting the Sunfall. If I think that's going to win me the game, then it's worth playing around that. And I think it is worth it. So that was a misplay for me. That was I think that was a misplay. It's not like a massive deal, but still. Because like keeping this is more of like a long game thing, where I think I'm going to need this pretty soon. And then also I could also do, you know, if I'm on 5 mana, I could do this, find a land, play the 6 land untapped, hopefully. And just, it's complicated, I don't know. Not sure which one's the better direction. Keep counter with cavern? Yeah. Why would I not keep it? They can only play one creature with cavern. Boros plays a lot of creatures. I'm not going to counter the first one. I'll counter the second one. Counter the enchantment as well. Okay, now it's a little bit less good. And if they just slam 4/4s, it's not as good either. But that's pretty unexpected most of the time. It's better than one of my random cards, because if I hit... there are a lot of like weird spells I can hit that are just not as good in this position. Like even a sweeper would not be that good. Because in the case of a sweeper, I would be able to counter the spell. Like if they play multiple things, then the counter is kind of okay, like equivalence, but at least it's like guaranteed that I find a spell. So yeah, the sweeper could be better, but there's also like I might have to counter the haste creature. You know, there's a lot of like stuff. I can also counter the adventure side without any repercussions. Okay, I'm definitely destroying that. Actually, I should have grabbed the deluge. Wait, so that means I shouldn't have grabbed this? I don't know. Interesting. I think I just went with Wandering Emperor. I probably should have grabbed deluge. That was probably wrong. This is what kind. Why did I think this would be good? It's not even. It's not relevant. It would be in most cases, but not there. I'm probably gonna slam Wandering Emperor here, no matter what. Yeah. I mean, good on them for not extending the game longer, because it's a very bad spot. Okay, now we get to test the role against Boros specifically, which is pretty much the only matchup where I'm considering this card. And we'll see how it does, because I don't think it's necessary. Like, the Boros matchup is already like kind of good. It's very RNG dependent on like specifically them finding a cavern and then curving out the knight specifically on turn 3, but it won't work on turn 2. So it's like kind of I don't know. We'll see. But it is probably the only card that can save me from that specific scenario where it's like turn 3 knight and then with the cavern, right? Oh wait, no, they wouldn't be able to use the cavern on turn 3. I guess they would if they have the mana up. Yeah. Yep. If they just leave 1 mana up. Okay, now another question is, how do I even make room for this in the first place? Which is because I'm also playing the shark now. Maybe it's Tidebinder. So I replace. Oh, maybe it's. Oh yeah, Dissipate is kind of. Yeah, Dissipate's kind of scuffed. But we're still 4 up. We're still up 4 cards here, so that's just not gonna cut it. That is just not gonna do it. It could just be. I wonder, is it actually correct to just cut all the counter magic? It's possible. Yeah, it could be a few get lost. It could be like 1 copy of Sunfall. In that case, I might have to cut Sunfall from the deck entirely. Like 1 copy from the deck, like the 75. The sideboard copy might be useless. I don't know. I could maybe see that. I think cutting the counters is pretty good. I agree with that. Maybe not all of them. Or maybe all of them. I actually don't know. Let's try this. I think it might be correct. But the problem is, once I start cutting the counters, then I'll just have less answers overall on the draw on turn 2, right? Overall, like the amount of turn 2 plays that I have are just going to be lesser, right? And that's usually bad against Boros because they get their money in the super early turns most of the time. This is kind of interesting because I have a guaranteed answer on turn 3. Does that mean to just hold this in case they find an answer for this at some point? Yeah, I might remove the smite. I think that's probably correct. I agree with that. What does it even kill? It kills the 3/2 haste, which is pretty relevant when you're trying to lock down the next turn, and it kills the 2/1 that revives with a 1/1. Those are the main targets for smite. Or like even the land as well. Anything with haste, essentially. It allows you to like hold that 1 mana open or have that 1 mana available and just, you know, flexibly kill that thing instead of having to spend double for it. Ooh, okay. Yeah, no Thrall. See, another problem with Thrall in general is like it's really only effective. It's mostly effective on turn 2, I would say. Actually, I mean, it's still effective later on, but you mostly want it extremely early, right? So in a way, having like a straight up removal spell might be worse on turn 2, but better as a top deck, right? So that's why I don't like to throw too much, but I'm testing. I might as well, right? See, we'll see if we draw it in the mid game. We'll see how good it is in that position. Yeah, it still works against Boros later, but at that point of the game, aren't you like either already stable, like you already swept them, you have like your Sunfall token, or you're already in such a bad spot where you would need more interaction, where like playing a 1/2 flash when they have a board state doesn't really change much. That's my main mindset, is like usually the game is already won after the early game. But in that situation, is the 1/2 going to be more relevant than potentially like, you know, playing another sweeper, or playing like even just a spot removal spell that could gain you life or something, or like just, or something they can play in other matchups like the March of Otherworldly Light. It's mostly a thing. It's mostly a question of like your other matchups. So that sideboard slot specifically dedicated for a card that is only useful against Boros, pretty much. I mean, it's good against Ram. It's okay against Ram. Is that justifiable compared to playing a card that is going to be good against Boros, Ramp, and Control and mid range? Like, you know, like a card like March, for example, or something. Yeah, Thrall is good against him, and I agree, it's fine. But that's only 2 matchups still. Interaction is useful across a lot of matchups. A lot more matchups, I would say. But again, it depends on the impact of the card. Like, that's still the question, is the impact that insane, right? And for that, we have to draw the card first. And I have not drawn it, so. I do know on turn 2, it's probably the best card you could possibly have against Boros. I won't deny that. But that's a very narrow window for a card being like that good. But then again, it is better. It is still good later on, so not a huge deal. It's definitely not correct to cut Sunfall. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, and I actually did it too. You definitely have to sweep twice most of the time to stabilize. I was just wrong. I wanted to test it, see if that was the slot, but now I know it's not. Like, you have to do things at least once, I think, to like truly realize if it's a good or a bad play. There's not much I can do against that, right? It's not bad. I do have to be careful of not dying to like random ping stuff. Start swinging, probably. Close out the game. I'm still gonna swing here. Don't really need the card draw. I've pretty much got everything. An answer for the enchantments, answers for creatures, panic button. I'm not sure there's any answer to this. Ooh. Ah, damn, that's kind of annoying. Because that cuts down my clock a little bit, but still fine. But the fact that I could have potentially avoided that is a little bit annoying. Whoa. Not that good. That's pretty good.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Yeah, maybe I should have popped a map token. Did I play land? No, I didn't, right? I'm not gonna play Wandering Emperor here. Good. Very good. Anti-lockdown tech? Is it really, though? Like, it plays into lockdown itself. So it's not even... And even as a reactive anti-lockdown spell, it's still a lot of mana to sink. I think it's just worse to lure on, pretty much. Okay, I mean... There's a start of something here. Don't know where it's gonna go, but guess we'll find out. Yeah, you can play any combo deck, and your win rate is just gonna be extremely variable. So I would say you should never expect to win, like to go full out win like 7-0 with a combo deck, but it could easily happen too. It's just either extreme usually. You either go 0 wins or 7. Depending on the combo deck. We're talking about like extreme cases. But that one, the Dimir one is pretty consistent, so I would expect higher results from that on average. It's not like a total meme. Most people are not even prepared for it, I would say. Still. It's hard to prepare for something that potentially kills you on turn 4, so... Yeah, this matchup is... fine. Just ramp right. It's fine until they hit the cave. And then I lose. Or what is it? Cavern? Cavern of Souls? What's it called? The problem is once they actually found it. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. If they're wasting the cavern on dinosaur, I'm totally fine with that. And I was expecting something I would have to counter, which would mean I would not be able to draw. So this actually works out well for me. Problem is I can't answer that yet. It's kind of bad. It's the only bad situation. Okay, now I can kinda. But I'm assuming if they played the dinosaur, that probably means they have another dinosaur. So yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to do something about it. You're saying? Definitely need to draw more land here. Even though I have to discard, probably. I want to get lost. I do, but... that land is just so clutch. Because if I don't hit the land, isn't it kind of a disaster? That's a disaster. Yeah. I'm running 26. Okay, I can easily discard that. That's something, at least. Field of Rainbow will be good. I mean, at least I found the field in case they have another cavern, but usually it'll come down on the same turn as the Traxa. That's where it gets a little bit more complicated. That's why I don't understand the design of Cavern of Souls. I don't understand why something that can like completely bypass a mechanic in the game is not tapped. like most special lands are. Yeah, I'll take the 4. I don't know. They only have 1 red, right? Do I want to deal with the cavern? I don't think so. Unless they have other dinosaurs, but I don't think they do. Just gonna use my mana efficiently, and then we can potentially use the deluge. Ooh, that's pretty good. It's kind of interesting, but like it's just not. It's not that good because it's almost 100% getting hit by a binding at this point, since they haven't played like much proactive permanence. It's mostly. I think I have to counter that because then otherwise my spells are worthless. Actually, I could draw. That's actually hard. That's a hard one because if I counter, I can't draw, and I don't think I'm gonna need to. I think it's better for me to draw, even though these are becoming mighty useless. At least I can combine 2. Hey Bella. It's got to be Jason land probably. I mean, it could be deduced, but I need to keep developing land, I think. But maybe not. So I can also just draw to victory here. Yeah, I should probably be deduced. The problem is I'm gonna discard. Yeah, I need land. Never mind. That was a mistake. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's fine to discard. Not terrible. Isn't this always a mill for 15? Mill for 12? Yeah, maybe. I mean, but then I don't know. I don't agree with that. Like, what is that really gonna do for me? I mean, I guess there's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's not much different, but oh, actually, no. I can mill for 9. Isn't that better? Because then they actually want to binding it, and I can get it back. Because I have to get lost, it's kind of interesting, I guess. If I don't, yeah, I think this is fine. It's probably 9. Because if I do 12, actually I should hold on to that. I should just discard the counters. Oh no, Wandering Emperor is useless. But if I do 12, then they have no incentive to actually interact with this. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's annoying.
None of this calculates.
Well, now that they have uncounterable on anything, I have no incentive to do much of anything, right? Except Sunfall. Protect my life total. Try to find... Actually, I could just try to find Jason win next turn. That's probably the play. Yeah, they're just gonna kill me straight up, right? I don't have a choice. Just gotta let it happen. If they have double Archangel, they have double Archangel. And then, well, they need triple Archangel, but could happen. Traxa, yeah. Honor Emperor main deck, that's actually kind of annoying. Because that could definitely kill me. Damn, I would have won if I did the 15, which was my original plan. Oh. They're not doing Wonder Emperor, which is good for me. At least. So I have to sweep, which means that I have to hold up 4. Which means I need a land. Yeah, I figured it was probably correct to do -5, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, got it. Doesn't really matter. The only way I lose this was like multiple Archangels, and I can counter the next one anyways. So yeah, this matchup, like imagine this matchup without 3 Jace. How much harder is this? Like infinitely harder. That's why I don't think you can run anything less than 3 Jace. Just because of this matchup alone. I think this matchup is really, really hard if you don't have at least 3 Jace. Now the problem is I have 1 less Jace because I actually am going to test out like a more creature-centric version with the Shark and the Thrall being like a Boros kind of curve out, anti-curve out, and then I just sweep them with the lockdown after. But I don't know. The Thrall could... The only reason I'm trying this is because apparently you can die on turn 3 against Boros, which I don't think is actually true, but I didn't spend much time thinking about it. I need to actually see for myself if it's possible. And I guess it's still like kind of playable against ramp. Yeah, it's fine against ramp. I could also consider cutting the mending now if I'm really, really satisfied with the main deck. I still think it would be wrong, but if I'm really really, really desperate for a sideboard slot, I could like the 1 Jace. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. The win con is still the Jace, right? But now, like, the problem is, okay, post board they have Tidebinder, they have counter magic, so the Jace win con is definitely not as effective. So I kind of want to try like the surprise Shark win con. It actually seems kind of reasonable. And in that case, Wandering Emperor goes up in value, right? Because it's a creature generating thing. I could just get rid of it. No, I can't get rid of the Jace. What's hard is that sideboarding is pretty... I think Celeste is not great, actually, in this matchup. Maybe even No More Lies being pretty clunky. This is wrong. I can tell this is wrong because I'm not playing for Wandering Emperor, and I think that would be like a guaranteed for... maybe not. Again, it depends, because at the same time, while the Shark win con is actually a thing, maybe having like a split dual win con, so not going like too hard on the shark. Because the only reason I would want to play this ×4 is because if I draw a shark, it's like really good, right? But leaving both options open is probably potentially a little bit better. I want to hold Mirex, but that means I would have to not represent a counter on 3, which is problematic, but is there really a way around that? Not really, right? I think it's too valuable for me to hold on to Mirex. I mean, if they have untap, 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 that's pretty crazy. And I never want to have 2 Wandering Emperor in hand, so it was probably the correct cut for Wandering Emperor. Now I'm wondering if, like, there was another... Because I think 2 Sunfall is pretty reasonable in this matchup. Because you can easily lose to a bunch of 3/3s, and that's pretty devastating. And even, like, Angel and stuff. Like, Angel potentially flipping the thing, and then you have, like, 2 creatures on board, and you have, like... I can't just 1-for-1 that. I have to actually sweep. Okay, that's fine. Phyrexian. Oh yeah, they had to do that. Okay. Now it's my turn. Let's see how good this is. Like, is it worth sacrificing my entire turn to spend to grab a shark? Maybe. This is not a great spot. Because I need land. But I just cannot, like, ideally I would want to draw, right? But I can't do that, because otherwise they can ramp. Then I'd be... Wait, don't tell me Atraxa is a Phyrexian. I have a weird feeling that Atraxa is actually a Phyrexian. I don't think so. Beanstalk's pretty annoying. I almost want to counter that. Is that weird? I feel like my win condition is card advantage now. I don't have any tempo. Even freeing this is not enough tempo, I think. I think Shark is actually pretty bad against Ram. I'm just gonna counter that. Play my own curve.
I'll take note of all your failures.
Stick with the mill plan. It is a Phyrexian? Ah, I had a feeling that it was. Ah, are you kidding me? Okay, so this can... Wow, that's so disgusting. It's actually so disgusting that can double up as a Phyrexian. This card is just nuts. Wandering Emperor? Why would you take that? It has no impact on Stomper. It has no impact on a lot of stuff. Should probably... Oh, they don't have blue. I might be willing to... Wait, they didn't take my delusion. What? It's kind of interesting. They must have a counter, but they don't have blue, right? I feel like I should just not interact with that and just draw.
Predictable and uninteresting.
Hmm.
All will be joy in symbiosis.
Yep, that's why Tidebinder is pretty good. Huh? Guess I have to interact with that now. Gonna kill this before it can potentially reactivate itself by removing this.
Become subdued.
That's gonna be good, but hopefully I don't get wrecked here. Okay. Like if they have the 3/3s there, actually it wouldn't be that bad because I have a 3/4.